Good morning, Year 4. It's Wednesday, the 3rd of June. Our LO, to identify persuasive features in texts and use them myself. So we're going to be looking at some leaflets today, and we're going to be thinking about those persuasive features which we were discussing yesterday. So what I would like you to do, first of all, is to read through the Waggle holiday leaflet that I've put on. So there's some holiday leaflets up there for you to look at. And then when you've done that, come back and watch the rest of this video. So hopefully you've read them. And now what you're going to go back through them with a fine tooth comb, looking for examples of persuasive features. So have a little think back to yesterday's learning, to A forest, the acronym. What did those letters stand for? Have a little go, pause me and have a little think about what they stood for. So hopefully you've remembered maybe all of them, at least some of them. So A was for alliteration. So multiple words that start with the same sound. F was for facts, statements of truth, statements that are true. O is for opinion, things which you think, okay? It's your own personal opinion. R is for rhetorical questions, questions to engage the reader, get them thinking about what the answer might be. E is for emotive language, to really get people's heartstrings pulled or get them having some sort of emotional response, whether it's envy or sadness or desire, some sort of emotional response within themselves. S is for statistics, so that might be a percentage, it might be a fact of numerical value, so it might be telling you a percentage or a number of something. So it's a numerical fact, a bit of information. And 3, the rule of 3, so not just giving one example, but giving 3 examples. So maybe you have access to a printer and you're able to print off the worksheets, but if not, it's quite good to look at them and get an idea of how you could organise your work on the paper. Because what you're going to do is when you go back through, you're going to look for examples of all of those persuasive features and you're going to list them. So for example, A for alliteration, I found the example service with a smile. So it's service with a smile. It's actually called sibilance when you have alliteration with the letter S, but it also is alliteration. Sibilance is a type of alliteration, so it does count. Facts. The Louvre Museum, which contains the famous Mona Lisa and many other works of art, is the world's largest museum. It's a statement of fact. It contains the Mona Lisa, and it is the world's largest museum. So those are to start you off. You could either borrow mine and then carry on your own, or you could challenge yourself to find your own example of alliteration and your own fact within those leaflets. And then you're going to carry on all the way through to the bottom of A forest. When you've finished that section, come back and we'll talk about what you're going to do next. Okay, so hopefully you've found examples for all of A forest, all those persuasive techniques. What you're now going to do is you're going to read through and choose some of your favourite phrases or sentences from these sheets, and you're going to copy them down to Magpie for your own persuasive writing. So a magpie takes things shiny that they like and has them for themselves. So you're going to be like a magpie and you're going to take things shiny that you admire and keep them for yourself. So you might change some of the phrasing to make it fit in with what we're doing, which is persuading other people that your home is the ideal lockdown location, or you could just write it as it is for now and come back to it later. So let me just give you an example. So it might be that you saw some of the phrases here. So nicknamed the City of Light. Paris is an elegant and time-honoured city. So you might give your lockdown location, your home, a nickname. Nicknamed the lockdown location of, of a lifetime. This house or this flat or this apartment or this bungalow is an elegant and well-loved place to spend lockdown. Everything about the capital oozes elegance. Everything about the kitchen in this home oozes elegance. Everything about the garden of this home oozes elegance. That phrase, oozes elegance, is a really lovely one. So you might want to magpie that. But you can't say everything about the capital because your home isn't a capital city. So you're going to borrow phrases and use them for yourself, and you're going to write them down, copy them down and borrow. And the more you have, the easier Thursday and Friday's writing task will be, because you'll practically have written it already. Okay, so you're just going to borrow, it might be a whole sentence, it might just be a little bit of it. So everything about the capital oozes elegance isn't the whole sentence, it does go on, it could be a sentence on its own, but it's just a little section of it. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense for what you're doing with that bit. So I want you to go off now and write down all those magpie phrases, as many as you can. Spend about maybe 15 to 20 minutes doing that, really looking carefully and thinking about how many you can find, copying them down really nicely so that when you come back to them, you can read them, making sure you spell the words you're copying correctly, because you want to make sure you're copying a word, you're thinking about the spelling of it, and you're not inaccurately copying the spelling. So off you go and do that, and then come back to this video. Okay, so hopefully you've now got lots of really lovely ideas to magpie and use tomorrow and on Friday. The last thing I'd like you to do before we finish for today is to come up with a heading for your leaflet. In fact, there's two more things I want you to do. Come up with a heading for your leaflet. So the heading should be short and snappy and contain alliteration, such as luxury lockdown location. Okay, so it doesn't need to be very long. 3 words is fine. 4 words. I wouldn't go more than maybe 6 words at most. So not too long, and get it, if you can get it to contain alliteration, that's brilliant. And then the next thing I'd like you to do is to come up with about 5 or 6 rhetorical questions, which you will use as subheadings. So they will really help to sort of guide your leaflet. Maybe, for example, would you like to lock down like this? Did you crave a paddling pool while on lockdown? So you're going to sort of set them up for thinking about different parts of your home that make it brilliant. So maybe you might talk about the kitchen or the outdoor space or the local area, and you're going to guide your rhetorical questions to think about those different areas. So maybe 5 or 6 questions, and then they will become your subheadings. So last 2 things to do: a short, snappy, alliterative header for your leaflet, and 5 or 6 rhetorical questions to use as subheadings. And then we'll come back tomorrow and we'll begin writing those leaflets. Hopefully you have lots of ideas and you've got lots of magpied ideas ready to use in your writing. Good luck.